If you or someone you love has ADHD, you know how frustrating and disruptive the symptoms can be. The lack of concentration, trouble following through, and struggle to stay on top of everything is just plain exhausting for everyone involved. And it's easy to feel hopeless. If this sounds familiar, keep watching, because in this video, I'm going to show you some evidence-based, natural treatments for ADHD that come from foods and plants. Treatments that can really help relieve symptoms while also improving your overall health. It's a win-win for folks with ADHD at any age. Attention Deficit Hyperactivity Disorder, or ADHD, has become the most commonly diagnosed childhood disorder in the United States, with about 6.4 million children being diagnosed at some point in their lives. This statistic reflects a shocking 41% increase within the last decade alone. And kids aren't the only ones being diagnosed. Recently, I've also noticed an uptick in adult women who are being diagnosed with ADHD. This isn't necessarily a bad thing. Many of these women find a great sense of relief in finally knowing the reason for their struggles in both their personal life and professional life. They can also come to understand why things that seem so easy for other people are hard for them. These women often find that they can also view their childhood struggles with more compassion and understanding as well. And many are working through their emotions in therapy. And all of this is good news. But what many folks with ADHD aren't told is that ADHD is as much a physical problem as it is a mental and emotional one. ADHD is a neurobiological disorder involving dysfunctional neurotransmitter regulation and metabolism in the brain, and it's associated with a bunch of other very real physiologic imbalances, deficiencies, and dysfunctions. This means that you can treat it with physical medicine, and I don't just mean stimulant drugs. And it's important that you do, because if ADHD is left undiagnosed and untreated, the consequences can be severe. When researchers compared women with ADHD to women without ADHD, they discovered that the women with ADHD had double the prevalence of substance abuse, smoking, depression, and poverty. They also had triple the prevalence of insomnia, chronic pain, suicidal thoughts, and generalized anxiety disorder compared to women without ADHD. Women and girls with ADHD are often misdiagnosed and treated for anxiety instead, because they tend to have the inattentive symptoms of ADHD without the hyperactive or disruptive symptoms typically seen in boys. The point is, despite how it might feel, ADHD is not a condition of low intelligence, poor character, lack of willpower, or personal failure. It is a very real, very physical brain disorder that can and should be addressed on a physiologic level. But conventional medicine treatment options are limited and can have some serious side effects. This leads many folks to seek out complementary and alternative options for relieving ADHD symptoms. Perhaps that's why you're watching right now. If so, you're in the right place, because in this video, I'm going to show you how special compounds called oligomeric proanthocyanidins, or OPCs, can help relieve ADHD symptoms. They can support brain function, and they even prevent other health issues. And just a quick note, even though I've been talking a lot about women and girls, these strategies can help everyone with ADHD, adults and kids and people of all genders. So what are OPCs and what do they do in your brain and body? OPCs are a type of polyphenol found in plants, specifically the bright pigments that we see in certain fruits and veggies. OPCs are the blue in blueberries, the green in matcha tea, the purple in grapes, and the dark brown in chocolate, and they're produced by plants as a protective mechanism. OPCs are also abundant in grapeseed, ginkgo biloba, plums, peaches, and pine bark. Polyphenols in general are known for their health benefits. They're anti-inflammatory, they help improve cholesterol levels, they support healthy blood sugar and body composition, and they help lower blood pressure. The list goes on. But OPCs have specific benefits for brain function too. One way that scientists have discovered that OPCs help folks with ADHD is by improving the ratio of theta to beta brainwaves as measured using an EEG test. Theta brainwaves are associated with daydreaming style brain function, whereas beta brainwaves are associated with focused attention. Folks with ADHD tend to have a higher proportion of theta brainwaves, even when they're trying to perform a task that requires focus, like reading. Research shows that OPCs can help decrease theta brainwaves and increase beta brainwaves, which helps people daydream less and focus more when they need to. Another reason OPCs are particularly good for brain-related symptoms is because they can cross the blood-brain barrier, and they have a direct impact on brain function. Scientists have found evidence that OPCs decrease oxidative damage in the brain, as well as strengthen the blood-brain barrier itself, which makes it harder for damaging compounds, bacteria, viruses, and other bad actors to hurt or degrade the brain. One fascinating small study found that when children with ADHD were given a daily blueberry drink containing the equivalent of 1.5 cups of fresh blueberries in it, they had significant reductions in hyperactivity, improved attention and visual motor coordination, and improved concentration. I love this study because there's lots of OPCs in blueberries, and it's a food that most people like to eat, especially kids. You may have heard me talk about how transformational it is when we start using food as medicine, and this study is a great example of the measurable positive impacts that whole, real foods can have on the brain. In another study, supplementation with pycnogenol, an OPC from pine bark, significantly improved both cognitive function and attention in folks with ADHD, and it also decreased anxiety by 17%. Another experiment involving 30 people with ADHD found that the subject's attention and concentration improved just as much with a daily regimen of pycnogenol supplements as with traditional ADHD stimulant medications. As a bonus, these folks also had better sleep and mood while taking the supplement. And a randomized controlled trial of 61 children with ADHD found that 4 weeks of pycnogenol supplementation dosed at 1 milligram per kilogram of weight per day caused significant reduction of hyperactivity and improved attention when compared to a placebo. So what are some practical strategies for increasing your OPC intake? I mentioned it earlier, but it's worth repeating that blueberries are a fantastic source of OPCs and are readily available, not to mention tasty. A clinician with a lot of experience in treating ADHD with a functional medicine approach told me that he puts a pint of blueberries in front of his ADHD kids at least once a day so they can snack on them freely. Purple grapes, plums, and peaches are also great options that also contain gut-healthy fiber, antioxidants, and natural sweetness. To achieve higher doses of OPCs consistent with the research articles that I mentioned, pycnogenol is a great option, as is ginkgo biloba. You can find my favorite pycnogenol supplement, along with some other botanical supports that help reduce ADHD symptoms, in my free ADHD botanical user guide. I'll put a link in the video description where you can download this resource. The user guide will also point you towards my full script dispensary, where you can order supplements like pycnogenol for 20% off. So be sure to check that out. One of the reasons that I make videos like this is because people are often unaware of treatment and support options besides medications for health concerns like ADHD. Because stimulant drugs don't work for everyone, and even if they help in the short term, it's common for folks to find that the side effects outweigh the benefits, or they stop being effective over time. OPCs are safe and effective. They've been studied in children and adults with ADHD, and they can be increased both by eating more polyphenol-rich foods and by supplementation. And that's really great news if you're looking for alternative solutions. There are other functional medicine strategies besides OPCs that help address ADHD. So be sure to stick around for the next video or click back to my channel library for more. Additional videos on ADHD are in the works as well, so be sure to hit that thumbs up button and subscribe to my channel so you don't miss a thing. If you'd like the convenience of all of these ADHD strategies in one place, check out my ADHD Deep Dive. It's a comprehensive, in-depth video resource with tons more research and actionable strategies that you can use to treat your ADHD symptoms with functional medicine. You'll find info about the deep dive in the video description, along with a link to the free user guide. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you over in the next video.